One wrong movement is all it takes. One moment of distraction. One split-second lapse in judgment. That is the difference between a safe day and a life-altering tragedy. You might think you are careful. You might think you know what you are doing. But statistics show that thousands of people every year make a fatal error with a firearm, not because they are malicious, but because they are complacent. They treat a gun like a toy or a tool or an object, forgetting for just 1 second that it is a machine designed to destroy. When that machine fires, there is no undo button. There is no take-back. There is only the aftermath. The silence that follows a gunshot is heavier than any sound you have ever heard. It is the sound of a family broken. It is the sound of freedom lost. It is the sound of a future erased. If you own a gun, if you plan to buy one, or if you simply live in a house where one exists, you need to understand the rules that govern its use. These are not suggestions. They are not guidelines. They are the absolute laws of survival. Ignoring them does not make you tough. It makes you dangerous. And the most terrifying part is that you might not even realize you are breaking them until it is too late. This information is not here to scare you for the sake of fear. It is here to arm you with the knowledge that keeps you alive. What you are about to learn could save your life, the life of your child, or the life of a stranger. Do not look away. Do not skip ahead. Every word matters. The first and most critical rule is one that sounds simple, but is violated more often than any other. Treat every gun as if it is loaded. Always. No exceptions. This is not just a catchy phrase printed on a poster at a shooting range. It is a mindset. It is a psychological switch that must be flipped every single time your hand touches a firearm. Most accidents happen because someone assumes the gun is empty. They assume their friend cleared it. They assume they unloaded it yesterday. Assumption is the enemy of safety. When you pick up a gun, you do not guess. You do not hope, you verify. But even after you verify, you still treat it as loaded. Why? Because human memory is flawed. People forget. Chambers can be missed. Magazines can be hidden. If you treat every gun as loaded, you will never be caught off guard by a surprise round. This rule protects you from your own mistakes and the mistakes of others. Think about the last time you handed something to someone. Did you check it twice? Probably not. Now imagine that object can kill instantly. The stakes change everything. You must develop a reverence for the weapon. It is not a prop in a movie. It is not a video game controller. It is a lethal device that requires total respect. If you cannot maintain this mindset, you should not be handling a firearm. Period. This mental discipline is the foundation upon which all other safety rules are built. Without it, the rest of the rules are meaningless. If you find this perspective valuable, consider subscribing to the channel. We are dedicated to providing clear, life-saving information that cuts through the noise and helps you protect what matters most. Your support helps us continue creating content that prioritizes safety and education over entertainment. By joining our community, you are taking a step toward becoming more informed and more prepared. It is a small action that signals a commitment to responsibility. And in a world full of distractions, that commitment is rare and necessary. Now let's move to the second rule, which is physically the most important. Never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. This is often called muzzle awareness. The muzzle is the end of the barrel where the bullet exits. Wherever that hole is pointing, that is where death or injury will occur if the trigger is pulled. It does not matter if you think the gun is empty. It does not matter if you are just joking around. It does not matter if you are showing it to a friend. If the muzzle is pointed at a person, a pet, or a valuable object, you're playing Russian roulette with reality. Many people believe they have good trigger discipline, so they think pointing the gun is safe as long as they don't pull the trigger. This is a deadly misconception. Guns can discharge due to mechanical failure, drops, or accidental snagging. If the muzzle is pointed safely, a negligent discharge might result in a hole in the floor. If the muzzle is pointed at a person, it results in a funeral. You must be constantly aware of where your muzzle is pointing. This requires spatial awareness. You need to know where your body is, where your hands are, and where the gun is aiming at all times. When you turn around, the gun turns with you. When you sit down, the gun goes with you. You are the pilot of this weapon. You control its direction. If you lose control of the direction, you lose control of the consequence. Visualize a laser beam coming out of the barrel. That laser represents potential death. Keep that laser pointed at the ground, at a backstop, or at a target you intend to shoot. Never let it sweep across anyone you love. The third rule is equally non-negotiable. Keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on the target and you have made the decision to fire. This is known as trigger discipline. It is the physical barrier between an accident and a catastrophe. Your index finger should rest along the frame of the gun, outside the trigger guard, until the very last moment. This seems obvious, but under stress, adrenaline, or excitement, human beings revert to instinct. And the instinct for many is to grab tightly. If you are holding a gun and you get startled, your muscles contract. If your finger is on the trigger, the gun fires. If your finger is indexed along the frame, nothing happens. This simple placement of the finger saves countless lives every year. Think about how often you touch things reflexively. You answer your phone without thinking. You open doors without looking. You react to loud noises by flinching. If you carry a gun or handle one regularly, you must retrain your nervous system. You must build a new habit that overrides the old instinct. Practice keeping your finger high and straight. Make it uncomfortable to put your finger on the trigger prematurely. When you draw a gun, when you holster a gun, when you clear a gun, your finger stays off the trigger. Only when you have identified a threat, decided to engage, and aligned your sights do you move your finger inside the guard. This sequence is sacred. Breaking it is gambling with lives. Many tragic shootings involving police officers, security guards, and civilians happen because of poor trigger discipline. The gun was drawn, the finger was on the trigger, and a stumble or a shout caused the shot. Do not let that be your story. Train your finger to stay home until it is time to work. As we delve deeper into these critical protocols, remember that knowledge is only power if it is applied. If you know someone who owns a firearm, share this video with them. It could be the conversation that prevents a disaster. Sometimes, hearing these truths from a neutral source is more effective than hearing them from a loved one. Sharing this content is an act of care. It shows that you value their safety and the safety of those around them. Do not assume they already know this. Complacency is silent. Break the silence by sharing this message. The fourth rule addresses what happens when you are not using the gun. Know your target and what is beyond it. Bullets do not stop just because they hit what you aimed at. They penetrate. They ricochet. They travel. A bullet fired from a common handgun can travel over a mile if it misses its target or passes through it. If you shoot at an intruder in your home, you must know what is behind that intruder. Is it a wall? Behind that wall is your neighbor's bedroom. Is it a window? Outside that window is a street with children playing. You are responsible for every projectile that leaves your barrel. You cannot claim ignorance if a bullet strikes an innocent bystander. This rule requires you to understand the environment. In a home defense scenario, this means knowing the construction of your walls. Drywall offers almost no protection against bullets. Brick offers more, but bullets can still fragment and spray. Outdoors, you must know the terrain. What is behind the target? Is there a hill, a road, a house? You must also identify your target positively. In low light and stress, shadows can look like people. A coat rack can look like an intruder. You must be sure shooting the wrong person is not self-defense. It is a tragedy that will haunt you forever. Take the time to identify. Take the time to assess the background. If you cannot see what is behind the target, do not shoot. Wait. Move. Change your position. Your duty is to protect life, not just to pull a trigger. Blind firing is cowardly and dangerous. Be precise. Be aware. Be responsible for the path of the bullet from the moment it leaves the chamber to the moment it comes to rest. These 4 rules form the core of firearms safety. But knowing them is not enough. You must understand why people break them. The primary cause of negligence is familiarity. When you do something every day, you stop paying attention. You drive to work on autopilot. You brush your teeth without thinking. When a gun becomes just another object in your house, you stop respecting its power. This is called complacency. It creeps in slowly. First, you leave the gun on the nightstand instead of in the safe. Then you handle it without checking the chamber. Then you point it at your spouse while making a joke. Each step seems small. Each step seems harmless. But each step erodes the safety culture in your mind. By the time the accident happens, you have normalized unsafe behavior. To combat this, you must actively fight complacency. You must treat every interaction with a firearm as if it is the first time. Reset your mind. Slow down. Rushing is another major cause of accidents. When people rush, they skip steps. They forget to check the chamber. They forget to engage the safety. They fumble the grip. Speed is the enemy of safety. In a defensive situation, speed is important, but only after safety is ingrained. You cannot be fast if you are sloppy. Sloppiness leads to jams, misfires, and negligent discharges. Smooth is fast. Deliberate is safe. Practice slow, methodical movements until they become muscle memory. Then, and only then, can you increase speed without sacrificing safety. Another hidden danger is the influence of alcohol and drugs. This should be obvious, but it is worth stating clearly. Never handle a firearm while under the influence of any substance that impairs your judgment or motor skills. Alcohol slows your reaction time. It lowers your inhibitions. It makes you feel confident when you should be cautious. Many hunting accidents and domestic shootings involve alcohol. The combination of a lethal weapon and impaired cognition is a recipe for disaster. Even prescription medication can affect your balance and focus. If you are tired, stressed, or emotionally unstable, put the gun away. Emotional volatility is a risk factor. Anger, grief, and depression cloud your judgment. If you are in a heated argument, do not reach for a gun. Remove yourself from the situation. Let the emotion pass. A gun should never be used as a tool for intimidation in a domestic dispute. It escalates the situation to a level from which there is no return. Protect your family by protecting your own state of mind. A clear head is your best safety device. If you are finding this breakdown helpful, please take a moment to like this video. It helps the algorithm show this crucial information to more people who need to see it. Your engagement signals that safety matters. It tells the platform that this is content worth spreading. In a digital landscape filled with misinformation, your like helps prioritize truth and responsibility. It is a small gesture with a large impact. Thank you for being part of the solution. Let's talk about storage. This is where many gun owners fail. Having a gun for protection is useless if it is not accessible, but having it accessible is dangerous if it is not secure. This is the paradox of gun ownership. The solution is layered security. Use a quick access safe for your primary defense weapon. These safes allow you to open them quickly with a code, fingerprint, or key, but they keep the gun secure from children and unauthorized users. For other firearms, use heavy-duty safes bolted to the floor. Ammunition should be stored separately from firearms whenever possible. This adds an extra layer of time and effort for anyone trying to use the gun improperly. Children are curious. They explore. They find things. If you think your child does not know where the gun is, you are likely wrong. Kids talk. They watch. They mimic. Secure your guns as if your child's life depends on it, because it does. Tragic stories of children finding unsecured guns and shooting themselves or their siblings are heartbreaking and preventable. Do not rely on hiding spots. Closets, drawers, and under mattresses are not safe. Use proper locking devices. Cable locks are better than nothing, but a safe is the gold standard. Teach your children about gun safety early. If they see a gun, they should know to stop, not touch, leave the area, and tell an adult. Demystify the gun. Fear leads to curiosity. Education leads to respect, but education does not replace physical security. Both are required. Maintenance is another aspect of safety that is often overlooked. A dirty gun is an unsafe gun. Carbon buildup, dirt, and lack of lubrication can cause malfunctions. A malfunction during a critical moment can be fatal. Clean your guns regularly. Inspect them for wear and tear. Check the springs, the firing pin, and the extractor. If you are not comfortable doing this, take them to a professional gunsmith. Know how your gun works. Understand its mechanics. When you understand how the parts interact, you are better equipped to recognize when something is wrong. Listen to the sound of the slide. Feel the weight of the trigger. Notice any changes in performance. A gun is a machine. Like any machine, it requires care. Neglect leads to failure. And in the world of firearms, failure has consequences. Keep your equipment in top condition. It is a sign of respect for the tool and for the lives it protects. Legal considerations are also part of responsible ownership. Laws vary by location. What is legal in one state may be a felony in another. Know your local laws. Understand when you can use force. Understand what constitutes self-defense. Ignorance of the law is not a defense in court. If you use a gun in self-defense, you will be investigated. You will be questioned. Your actions will be scrutinized. Being legally right is just as important as being tactically right. Take a class on use of force laws. Consult with a lawyer who specializes in self-defense cases. Have a plan. Know what to say and what not to say if you are ever involved in a shooting incident. Silence is often golden in the immediate aftermath. Request legal counsel. Do not try to explain yourself to the police while you are still in shock. Your adrenaline is pumping. Your memory is fragmented. Wait for your lawyer. This is not about hiding the truth. It is about protecting your rights and ensuring that the facts are presented accurately. Preparation includes legal preparation. Do not neglect this aspect. The psychological impact of owning and potentially using a gun is profound. Many people focus on the hardware and the tactics, but they ignore the software, their mind. Using a gun in self-defense is a traumatic event. Even if you are justified, even if you save your life, the aftermath can be difficult. Post-traumatic stress is real. Guilt, anxiety, and sleep disturbances are common. Prepare yourself mentally. Understand that taking a life, even in defense, changes you. Seek support if needed. Talk to professionals. Connect with others who have been through similar experiences. Do not bottle up the emotions. Acknowledge the gravity of what you hold in your hands. It is not just a piece of metal. It is a responsibility that weighs on your soul. Carry that weight with dignity. Let it make you more compassionate, more aware, and more committed to peace. The goal of owning a gun is to never have to use it. It is a deterrent. It is a last resort. Embrace that mindset. Train for the worst, but hope for the best. As we approach the end of this discussion, let's recap the essence of what we have covered. Treat every gun as loaded. Never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to fire. Know your target and what is beyond it. These 4 rules are your shield. They are your armor. They are the boundary between order and chaos. Memorize them. Internalize them. Live by them. But remember, rules are only as strong as the person following them. You must be the weak link breaker. You must be the one who stops the chain of error. If you see someone breaking these rules, speak up. Correct them gently but firmly. Safety is a community effort. We look out for each other. We hold each other accountable. Do not be afraid to be the person who says, "Stop, check your muzzle." That comment could save a life. The world is unpredictable. Danger can appear at any moment, but panic is not a strategy. Preparation is. By mastering these universal firearms handling rules, you are not just learning how to shoot. You are learning how to think. You are learning how to control your environment and your reactions. You are gaining the confidence that comes from competence. This confidence is quiet. It is not boastful. It is the calm assurance of someone who knows what they are doing and why they are doing it. That is the mark of a true professional. That is the mark of a responsible citizen. Do not let this information fade from your memory. Review it, practice it, teach it to your family. Make safety a culture in your home. Talk about it openly. Remove the stigma and replace it with understanding. The more people who understand these rules, the safer we all become. Accidents thrive in silence and ignorance. Shine a light on them. Dispel the myths. Embrace the truth. If you have made it this far, you have demonstrated a commitment to learning and responsibility. That is commendable. Now take the next step. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We are building a community of informed, responsible individuals who value safety and truth. Your subscription ensures you stay updated with future content that can protect you and your loved ones. It is a free resource that pays dividends in peace of mind. Join us. Stay sharp. Stay safe. Finally, share this video. Send it to your father, your brother, your friend, your neighbor. Someone in your circle needs to hear this. Maybe they are new to gun ownership. Maybe they have become complacent. Maybe they have never held a gun but live with someone who has. This video could be the intervention they need. It could be the lesson that prevents a tragedy in your own community. Do not underestimate the power of sharing knowledge. You have the power to make a difference. Use it. The choice is yours. You can ignore these rules and hope for the best, or you can embrace them and ensure the best. Hope is not a plan. Discipline is. Respect is. Awareness is. Take control of your safety, take control of your freedom, protect your family, protect your future. The gun is a tool. You are the master. Be a good master, be a wise master, be a safe master. The stakes are too high for anything less. Thank you for Lee's. Tenning, thank you for caring, and thank you for taking the time to become better prepared. Stay vigilant, stay responsible, and above all, stay safe.